Our broker put a sign up in each bay, and everything was leased out in 60 days. There was no negotiations on price. No one even asked.
If you're worried about finding tenants for your commercial properties, Marcus leased his brand new ground-up flex development in under 2 months because he did something very unique that a lot of property owners aren't doing, which made his properties stand out compared to everything else. Let's dive into it. What made you want to jump into flex space and ground up development? Because that's not easy.
You know, I love the car wash business, obviously. You know, I've been doing it all my life. But, you know, it's 7 days a week. Commercial real estate, it's just a different stress. But no, I enjoy it. It's a little bit slower pace in the car wash industry. It's not 7 days a week. You can make it 5 days a week. You can make it 7, or you can make it 3 or 2 or 1. When I was building our flex space, I was on YouTube looking for some ideas about the buildings and things like that. And I came across your YouTube channel and actually connected with you on being a CRE student because I've got real estate and I've done pretty good with some other projects. I wanted to really dig in and learn more. Whether you're a beginner or you're a pro at it, you can take something away from what you're doing.
Walk us through your original vision for the site.
Well, originally we were going to build it for the car wash office. That was my original thought. And then kept getting inquiries about, is this going to be offices for lease? You know, I had never even heard of flex space. The drum just kept beating louder on that. So we said, well, listen, the worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, then we can just take the whole unit for the car wash business. I've built car washes all my life, but this was non-car wash, so I was kind of out of my element. You know, everybody says, well, it's just a box. I said, well, it's a little bit more to it than that. You also put self-induced pressure on because you want it to be right. I live in this community, and you take a lot of pride in it.
What made you want to take a closer look at Kittrell?
I love the area. Just a lot of growth going on in this corridor. There's going to be neighborhoods popping up, and where there's neighborhoods popping up, you got to have small business to service that stuff. And so that was kind of the thought behind it.
What are you typically looking for when you're buying commercial real estate?
I listened to a podcast you had with Hamza. One of y'all broke down the square footage for like flex space. Once we started running the math on that, I said, you know, that's the spot we're in. That's kind of what we're doing. To me, it just kind of made sense to duplicate that. And there's some property available across the street that we've already bought. And so I think we're just going to keep expanding that flex space through those areas right there.
Flex space is obviously trending, and you've done something a little bit differently here than what we typically see people doing when they're developing flex space. I mean, you went above and beyond in almost every aspect. You did lighting all around the parking lot. This is actually probably the nicest parking lot I've ever seen in a flex space development. You've got a total brick facade with these beautiful overhangs. You've matched the signage to the space. This is really a perfect example of the type of flex space people should be doing.
When I first kind of envisioned this setup here, it was more of what would I want to do? Because I was actually going to put my office here. I said, okay, what do I want it to look like? We really wanted the facility to pop. I believe in a well-lit parking lot. If my family's going to be working here at night and walk out, you're going to be able to see the parking lot.
Yeah, you've got them at every angle. Yeah. Entrance, down the way. This looks luxury. This is luxury flex.
That's a good word. I call it more upscale, but I like the word luxury better. Yeah.
That's right. I love that you kept yourself in mind. That's what every investor or developer should really be doing whenever they're going through this process is, what would I want to have? What would I like to see if I was coming to work here every day? Because it really helps you build or develop for the right tenant, right? Because the higher end this is, or the better it is, the better it functions, the better tenants you're going to get.
You definitely will attract a better tenant.
When you build something like this, is you're no longer a commodity when it comes to commercial real estate. You're not competing on price anymore. You found your blue ocean when it comes to flex space.
Yeah, I mean, the whole intent was to separate ourselves. We drove around, looked at all the competitors in the market, and said, man, we can build a really nice product and maybe try to get a little bit better rent. And you know, we are the top of the rent market here.
It says something to me that you're top of the market on rent, but it only took you 2 months to fill it up. There's a lot of investors and developers out there that, you know, they're really trying to cut corners and they're sitting on the market for 6, 8, 9 months, and they're probably below market rents.
Right.
And it's because they're not delivering something that the tenants want. You got to know your market. Let's take a look at these because they are turnkey. I mean, you told me earlier you had the toilet paper, You had the paper towels. I mean, you had everything already ready for them.
Well, like I said, I've been in small business and I understand, your priority is not that sometimes.
So you got really tall ceilings in these.
Yeah, I think, maybe 12?
It makes the space look so much bigger.
This is 300 square feet.
Okay. I mean, you went all out with the finishes, right? I mean, you went with the LVP, you went with baseboard.
Yeah, the 1x4 baseboard, we did the more bulkier type. It's a little bit higher quality.
Let's check out the warehouse.
Yep.
You've got the main room here, you've got a restroom, and then you've got a warehouse kind of through the back. Man, this space is so nice. I'd be nervous about getting it dirty working in here.
Yeah.
What was your initial budget and how long did you expect the project to
I
take?
wish you wouldn't ask me that. The initial budget was $1 million.
Okay.
That was my initial budget. I said, I'll do this for $1 million. The dirt was 200, so I had $800,000 to spend. We get into it post-COVID, probably not the best time to start building. We've got 1.37 in it.
It's never fun to go over budget, but you did it on all the right things and for a lot of the right reasons.
Yeah.
Which I think is really important. And even in that case, you're still at a 7% cash on cash return with an all cash deal.
Yes, I was hoping you were going to run the numbers on that and give me some good news.
What was your financing strategy going into this project?
I paid for it as I went. Had enough cash flow coming in from other projects. And it was a slow build because you couldn't get materials, and what you got was very expensive. So it kind of worked out, to be honest, where I was able to kind of pay for it as I went.
So it looks like you've got a mezzanine in here as well. Is that something that you built out in every unit? Did you pre-plan that, or was that something the tenants just said,
The builder
hey, we
came
want
to
that?
me that was
Okay.
building it. He goes, Marcus, why don't we just add some stairs and put a rail around it, and you can treat it as extra storage if they won't put their file cabinets or maybe equipment they don't use all the time. For that type of add-on, it wasn't that much. We did that in every unit.
What level of power did you end up bringing to each unit?
These are, I think, 400 amp services.
Okay.
Our electrician made to where they want to charge electric vehicle, they'll be able to do,
that's nice.
Yeah. There's a little feature we did outside. We actually put a sidewalk in.
Let's go look at it.
Yeah. We decided to put a 5-foot sidewalk where you can walk out and go out to your car this way, or if you service the units, your AC guy can get back here. When they were first delivered, the AC units, they were on a pad. I said, man, this looks terrible. And so we called the AC guy, said, listen, you gotta lift the units up. We're gonna pour a pad.
Yeah, I'm sure he liked sending you that second bill.
Yeah, he said, hey, I'll do whatever you wanna do. They have no problem doing that.
No, not at all. Were there any surprises that came up during construction?
A couple things came up. When we were doing the geo soil testing, where they tested the soil was good, but where we placed the building, some topsoil had to be dug out.
It always
happens. We spent, I think, an extra $40,000 getting some topsoil out. I said, wow, this is how this project is starting. It's not going to end well. That was right out of the gate. Once we got past that, everything went really smooth. The only thing that really came up at the end was the warehouse is being conditioned.
You've actually fully insulated these.
All the way from the back to the top.
Did you put the wall unit in here?
We did.
Okay.
All the other flex spaces around here, the warehouses are not insulated. They have fans. Because a lot of these guys, this is where they work. They don't work in the office.
No.
They work
they're in
here.
Have your actual operating expenses been in line with your projections, or how has that turned out?
The most expensive thing, of course, is the property taxes. Insurance is not that bad. So no, I think everything's in line. Filled up rent is $126,000 a year. Expenses run between $25,000 to $30,000 a year, and that includes our property taxes and insurance on the building. So it's pretty good return. Now we did pour the concrete here a little bit thicker and put some wire in
So
for
you
the
get a
dumps
heavy,
for the
heavy
truck.
truck. So that's one thing that I see people don't think about that much is you actually have to pour the concrete pad wherever the dumpster is significantly thicker, and you have to put rebar in it.
Yeah.
Because the weight from those vehicles is going to tear that concrete apart, and that's going to spread throughout your entire
You'll be
driveway.
replacing your concrete.
Yeah.
My advice is, hey, get you a civil engineer, especially that works in the same area as where you're building. I think that's a big difference. He was really able to kind of dictate to us what we could do. I used a contractor to build. I want to enjoy the project as much as I can and enjoy the fruits of it. But, let the professionals do what they do, and then you do what you do. When you're a landlord, it's a lot bigger responsibility. When you do it for yourself, it's different. But when you do it for someone else, it's a lot bigger deal.
I bet your water bills are a little bit less here.
Yeah.
So some of our major takeaways with the conversation with Marcus today is don't be afraid to go higher end and spend the extra money. it's gonna come back and repay you somehow, whether that's with a faster lease up or with tenants willing to pay you higher rents, and it's probably gonna be better for your portfolio in the long term. Make sure that you are also hiring the right project managers, the right general contractors that are gonna be overseeing the day-to-day of this project. It's gonna help you sleep better at night, I promise you, and I think Marcus would attest to that as well. And of course, find a mentor that has been there, done that, study everything that you can about this property type so that you can deliver the best assets possible. And check out this interview here with Hamza Ali where we dive into the numbers on these types of deals.